Have you ever looked at a head of cauliflower and thought, what even asterisk is asterisk this thing? It looks like a snowy edible brain, or maybe a cloud you can eat. Well, this humble vegetable on our dinner plates is far more than just a simple garden plant. Its story is an epic saga of transformation, stretching back thousands of years, beginning with a rugged wild weed clinging to Europe's rocky coastlines. This is the incredible story of how cauliflower evolved from a seaside survivor into one of the world's most remarkable examples of human-guided evolution. To understand cauliflower's amazing journey, we have to go back to its wild ancestor, a plant called Brassica oleracea*. Picture it, growing freely on the limestone cliffs of the Mediterranean, battered by salty winds, thriving in thin soil. This was a tough plant, built to endure, not to please. It has small, bitter leaves and a strong woody stem. It was nothing like the vegetable we know today. But then something changed. Humans, our curious and observant ancestors, began to notice variations in these wild plants. Some had slightly thicker stems, others had more tender leaves, or maybe larger flower buds. Early farmers started saving the seeds from the plants that showed the most promising traits. It was a simple act, but it was monumental. This selective breeding marked the very dawn of cauliflower's evolution. Fast forward to about 2,500 years ago. Early Mediterranean civilizations, especially the Greeks and Romans, began cultivating this wild Brassica* for food. But here's where it gets interesting. Different regions started to favor different traits, and the plant began to split into separate family lines. Those who selected for large, tasty leaves ended up creating kale and collard greens. Farmers who preferred plants with thickened, swollen stems gave rise to kohlrabi. And then there were others who focused on the compact flower buds. This was the earliest step toward what we now know and love as broccoli and cauliflower. It wasn't until around the first millennium in the Eastern Mediterranean and what is now Turkey that farmers really started honing in on a specific mutation. They were intentionally growing plants for their immature flower clusters, a genetic quirk that prevented the flower buds from ever opening. This created a dense white mass, the curd, which is the defining feature of cauliflower. The vegetable as we recognize it was starting to take shape. During the Middle Ages, cauliflower began its world tour. It traveled east to Syria and Egypt, where farmers perfected cultivation techniques. In fact, Arabic scholars wrote about a vegetable they called cauliflower, describing it as tender, pale, and unlike anything known in Europe at the time. From there, it journeyed back west, making a grand re-entry through Italy, which was the epicenter of agricultural innovation during the Renaissance. By the 15th century, Italian farmers had fully domesticated cauliflower. They were no longer just growing it. They were refining it, breeding for uniformity, a larger size, and that beautiful creamy white color. It soon became a prized delicacy in European markets. It was especially popular in France during the reign of King Louis XIV, where it was served at lavish royal banquets, a true symbol of culinary luxury. So, what makes cauliflower so unique? Here's the mind-blowing part. Cauliflower, as we know it, is not a natural plant you'd find in the wild. It is, in essence, a biological masterpiece sculpted by human hands. That unique, fractal-like structure of its white head comes from a genetic mutation that messes with the plant's internal clock. Normally, a plant grows leaves and stems, and then it gets a signal to start flowering to produce seeds. But in cauliflower, this transition gets stuck. Instead of forming separate flower buds, its flower-producing tissue, or inflorescence, just keeps branching and branching, creating that dense, dome-like structure that we eat. This mutation would be a dead end in the wild, but for us, it created a desirable, delicious texture. This is a perfect example of artificial selection evolution guided by human preference, not by nature's survival of the fittest rules. Now, you can't talk about cauliflower without mentioning its closest sibling, broccoli. They are so closely related that they share nearly identical genetic blueprints. In fact, scientists believe that cauliflower likely descended from broccoli-like ancestors in Italy around 1,500 years ago. So, what's the difference? It all comes down to gene expression. Think of it like two identical instruction manuals, but with different pages highlighted. In broccoli, the genes are expressed in a way that allows it to form green flower buds that will eventually open. In cauliflower, key genes like one nicknamed the cauliflower gene delay this flowering process indefinitely, causing the buds to stay tightly clustered and white. Scientists have even pinpointed the specific genes *BOCAL* and *BOAP1* that control this incredible transformation. By the 18th and 19th centuries, cauliflower had gone global, spreading across Europe, Asia, and the Americas. As it traveled, it adapted. Each region bred it to suit local climates. Indian farmers developed heat-tolerant varieties, while European growers focused on breeding even larger and more compact heads. Today, cauliflower is a truly global crop, grown everywhere from Italy and India to China and the United States. And the evolution hasn't stopped. Modern agricultural science has given us a rainbow of new varieties. You've probably seen them: orange, purple, and even green cauliflowers. These aren't genetically modified in a lab. They come from crossbreeding with other varieties to enhance natural pigments like beta-carotene in orange cauliflower and anthocyanins in the purple kind. These modern versions don't just look beautiful on a plate. They're also packed with extra nutrients and antioxidants. The story of cauliflower offers us a fascinating glimpse into the power of human-guided evolution. While natural selection shaped species for survival against the elements, human selection has shaped this one for flavor, for nutrition, and for beauty. Through countless generations of patient cultivation and careful selection, our ancestors transformed a bitter, scraggly coastal weed into one of the most versatile and beloved vegetables on Earth. It also serves as a powerful reminder that evolution is not a thing of the past. It's a continuous process. Even today, scientists and farmers are still working on cauliflower, developing strains that are more resistant to climate change and pests, and even engineering varieties that could one day be grown in space. So, the next time you see a head of cauliflower at the grocery store, take a moment to appreciate its incredible journey. From a wild plant clinging to rocky cliffs to the creamy white heads gracing dinner plates around the world, the evolution of cauliflower is a living testament to both nature's incredible potential and humanity's ingenuity. It's a quiet symbol of how life can change, not just over millions of years, but through the hands of people who dare to dream of something better, one seed at a time. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next video.